From the Channel's newsroom here in London. A war of words has erupted with Iran lashing out at the United States after it imposed new sanctions against its supreme leader and other top officials. President Hassan Rouhani described the move as desperate and idiotic, saying the punitive measures will have no impact because the cleric has no assets abroad. He also blamed Washington for closing the only path to peace and diplomacy.
اگه شما راست میگید میخواید مذاکره کنید همزمان با مذاکره اون وقت دنبال اینید که وزیر خارجه رو هم تحریم کنید پس معلومه دروغ میگید.
They'll either get the point or, as the president said, I think very cogently yesterday morning in imposing sanctions on the supreme leader, we will simply enhance the maximum pressure campaign further.
Iran should not, and I repeat, should not interpret restraint as weakness. He would be making a very dangerous mistake. We will not initiate a conflict against Iran, nor do we intend to deny Iran the right to defend its airspace. But if Iran continues to attack us, our response will be decisive.
President Trump hit back on Twitter, saying Iran's very ignorant and insulting statement put out today only shows that they do not understand reality. Any attack by Iran on anything American will be met with great and overwhelming force. In some areas, overwhelming will mean obliteration. A memorial service has been held in Ethiopia for the Army Chief of Staff who was killed in an alleged coup attempt. Sia McKinnon and a retired general were among senior officials shot dead on Saturday in what authorities say was a foiled plot to seize control of the Amhara region. Officials say the alleged attacker, the general's bodyguard, is being treated for gunshot wounds, contradicting an earlier claim that he was dead. In the UK, Boris Johnson says he's willing to leave the EU without a deal. The frontrunner in the race to become the next Conservative Party leader and Prime Minister reiterated his desire to deliver Brexit in October. While he expects to leave with an agreement, he says he's also prepared to walk away without one.
It is vital as a country that we get ready to come out without an agreement if we must.
He was also questioned about reports of a heated row with his girlfriend after images of the pair appeared in the press. He dodged questions about the apparent staged photograph during a live radio phone-in.
When was it taken?
Well, I don't listen. So
that's a state secret.
You're asking me.
So that's a state secret. When the picture was taken. So when was it taken?
It's not a state secret. It just happens to be something that I don't want to get into.
And on the issue of the Conservative Party leadership contest, he rejected any suggestions that Steve Bannon, the former White House chief strategist, has influenced his campaign.
This is the biggest load of codswallop I have ever heard.
He texts you regularly, he's giving you advice?
Absolutely not. I complete codswallop. I met Mr. Bannon in the White House when he was Chief of Staff to the President, as you would expect, in the course of my duties as Foreign Secretary.
Beijing has denied engaging in debt-trap diplomacy, saying the accusations are ignorant of the true friendship between China and Africa. The comments came as President Xi Jinping held talks with his Ugandan counterpart. Yoweri Museveni is on a 4-day visit to the country to discuss trade and development projects. He praised Beijing's contribution to developing infrastructure, while China's top diplomat Wang Yi said projects must be sustainable and his country is not pursuing selfish geopolitical gains on the continent. Jamal Khashoggis' fiance is calling for an international investigation into the journalist's murder. He was killed in October last year after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. It follows a UN report which accused Saudi Arabia of a deliberate, premeditated execution, but made no conclusion of guilt.
The Saudi government and Saudi administration seem to have eliminated some pieces of evidence, and within that scope, the investigation that is run in Saudi Arabia is not legitimate anymore. So there's an urgent need for an international investigation about this murder.
And finally, SpaceX has launched its Falcon Heavy rocket from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Carrying 24 experimental satellites, the company described it as one of the most difficult launches it's attempted. The mission, dubbed Space Test Program 2, is the third for the Falcon Heavy rocket and was commissioned by the US Department of Defense. And that's your international news around the world in 5.